Imagine losing your father because he stood against traditions that were harmful to women, that were harmful to his daughters, that were harmful to girls in his community, because he said no to female genital mutilation. So this is the story of one Christine Alfons, who was inspired by her father's legacy not to put her and her sisters through female genital mutilation.
So we really didn't go. We just saw it pass and all that. But again, the lifestyle that we had, like the living standard that we had, was very low, because some nights we would go without food and we were really longing for even someone to help. So I would see the girls pass and they had money all over them. They were being danced to, they were being gifted. And for me, actually, I was like, yeah, my mom doesn't want me to go for the cut or doesn't want us to go celebrate with other girls, but I'm waiting for my turn.
Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Terry's View, and today I am going to talk about a change maker, a young person who has devoted her time, her resources, and her love for the service of the community in which she lives in, to create a world free from gender-based violence. I am going to talk to Christine Alfons, who is the founder of Safe Engage Foundation in Kuria West Community, Migori County. Come with me. Christine's father's legacy is what inspired her to start Safe Engage Foundation, a community-based organization in Kuria West, Migori County, where she engages women, she engages young boys and young girls in an effort to create a world free from gender-based violence.
Christine Alfons, and I'm from this community, that is the Kuria community in Migori County. Coming from this community, I consider myself a champion to other girls, or a mentor or role model. There are actually many challenges that girls face, being the community really uphold female genital mutilation, child marriages, and well, you find that girls can drop out of school to actually get cut and get married. But I consider myself as, I wouldn't say lucky, but blessed. Consider myself blessed because for me, actually, at the age of 8, my dad was being forced to take me for FGM. But he actually didn't want to cut me because actually I think he had interacted with other communities who do not cut. In his education. So he actually deliberately wanted not to cut his girls because I am a firstborn of five, family of 5 children, and I'm the firstborn. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. When my dad, the time my dad decided that he is not going to be cutting girls, so he's not going to cut his girls, he took my brother, who is now younger, my younger brother, to be circumcised in the hospital. And you know, then when I was 8, that was a very big taboo with the clan elders. So they actually summoned my dad, claiming that my younger sibling cannot be cut before me as the older sibling. In Kuria, younger siblings are not cut before the older siblings. So if it happens that younger siblings are cut before cut or circumcised if they are boys, then the older sibling have to go the same time with them. So then it can be counted they were cut or circumcised in the same time. So that's what happened with me. So my brother was taken to be circumcised in the hospital. But now the elders demanded, they actually knew that happened, and they demanded my dad to actually take me for the cut, so then we can be, it can be the same time with my brother. But my dad didn't want. They actually claimed that it was a taboo, and my dad would sacrifice some things, some animals, but my dad refused. And so the clan elders, because they really want to feel like they are the ones who have the power, and by then they were really feared, and whatever they had said, the community could not go against it. So when my dad went against that, actually he was punished, and the punishment was to be killed. So actually by the time I was 8 years, my dad was killed because he refused to take me to be cut. So I didn't actually know that until when I was about 12, between 12 and 13 years. It's when I realized I knew this story. But before then, my mother was actually against the cut, because my dad said, I don't want to take my girls because I don't want my girls to go through FGM. So my mom took that and actually worked with us in that. So my mom would actually ask us not to go even see the dancing and the celebration of girls. If you were found in those celebrations, then you were in for a big punishment. So we really didn't go. We just saw it pass and all that. But again, the lifestyle that we had, like the living standard that we had, was very low, because some nights we would go without food, and we were really longing for even someone to help. So I would see the girls pass, and they had money all over them. They were being danced to, they were being gifted. And for me, actually, I was like, yeah, my mom doesn't want me to go for the cut, or doesn't want us to go celebrate with other girls, but I'm waiting for my turn. Then I knew when I would be in class 6 or 7, some of our girls, some of my peers would go, and I would join them. So I was looking forward to that time. I was really determined, even if my mom had said no, I'll just go, because I wanted that money. I was really looking at the way girls would come dressed, and then they were just, the money would be pinned all over them, from the cape to down to the feet. So that is the money I was really longing for, and looking that maybe today we slept hungry and people are passing there with money. I'll also one day pass with money. And my shoes were torn, going to school barefooted and having torn shoes and all that. I was really looking forward to that. But actually my perspective was changed, and it was changed during a school visit, where a member from Action Aid was actually coming to talk about HIV and AIDS and how it spreads. Then at that time I was in class 6, so like they wanted to meet kids from class 6 to class 8. So we went, and we were being told about how AIDS spread, how communities need to protect themselves and all that. So when they were talking about that, they touched on FGM, and they talked about how girls are cut with one laser, how the cutter actually doesn't even wear gloves, all that. So I was actually, my mind was like it opened. And I actually, from that meeting, I told myself I don't want to contract AIDS. And that is what really rang in my mind. I don't want to contract AIDS. And therefore, I actually said, I am going to tell my mom. I was planning to go, but I'm not going to tell my mom that I cannot go. Because that December, actually, there was the cutting season was to happen, and I was to go. But during that, it was a second term that person came to talk about that with us. So my mind changed there, and I decided, I made up my mind that I'm not going to go for the cut. So when I went home, I shared with my mom. I remember the time I shared with her about what we have been taught in school. It's the tears that I saw coming out from her eyes. And actually, I started regretting that probably I have hurt her in one way or the other. I didn't know actually what I had done, but my mom just excused herself and went to the bedroom, and just, I felt like maybe I have done something that I should not have done. But after she excused herself, she came back and actually called us all of us, the 5 of us, and told us that story of my dad. She said, actually, your dad even did not want you people to get cut. And then when I'm hearing this from you, I feel like it's something that for him, it was in him since. So for me, for you telling me that you're not going to go for the cut really makes my work easier, because I really didn't know how I was going to break this to you, because your dad was killed trying to protect you for this. So when Mom told me about that story, there I felt like Dad had started something that that wanted me to accomplish it. So I felt like I'm not going to let him down. I felt like I have to stand for myself, not to be cut, and also make sure that my younger sisters are not actually cut. And actually it was like that. My relatives, that is aunts and uncles and grandmothers and father, were actually pressing to ensure that I go for the cut, but I refused. And that's where all the problems, family problems started, because before they would even come with soap, maybe sugar, maybe all that. But when we refused and said we are not going to go for the cut, so many things happened. Because we were even denied the land that we were farming and getting maize from. We were denied everything from the family, but we actually managed, and here we are today.
Gender-based violence happens in different forms. It could be through economic violence, where men deprive their women of the opportunity to earn and make a living. It could be through female genital mutilation, which is a practice that is deeply rooted in the Korea community.
But in my community, gender-based violence has really hit on women, because the community wants to dictate what women should be and not what women themselves want. Some women can be going through some abuse or violence, and they actually do not know it's violence. For them, it's like a way of life. That's how we are living, and that is us. So they are comfortable in violence. But now it's more of making them understand that if this happens, it actually even hinders your growth as a person. It hinders the growth of your family and even the development of your family. So if women can understand that and go forward to getting that, then we can have a community where everyone is valued and people are living a fully productive life.
And Christine has been very instrumental during December 2021 cutting that happened in Korea West community, where massive and a lot of girls were subjected to female genital mutilation. So her role and those of other change makers like her, civil society organizations, the government, put their resources together to rescue a number of these girls from going through female genital mutilation.
Later, I realized there are those girls who actually do not have someone to actually help them or stand for them not to be cut. That's when I realized that I have to stand for other girls. I have to help them to know why they should not go for the cut. And that is my inspiration to starting Safe Engage Foundation. My activism work again started when I was in primary, because the time I realized that my dad was against it and was killed, I felt like I should be talking to girls to understand the effects of FGM. By then I was really excelling in sciences and math subjects. So in the community where I'm coming from, that is Korea, girls are actually demeaned even in school. When you excel in even mathematics, you're told, you'll just won't go far. You'll just leave those mathematics, your maths here and your sciences here. So for me, I was very determined that I would have to show a good example for girls that they can do sciences and make it. They can do mathematics and make it and excel. Actually, in my Form 4, in my KCSE, I got an A-. And I got A's in sciences and maths. So actually that was like a motivation to actually tell other girls that, girls, we can do it, we can make it, yes. During my university, I would use my breaks to actually come back home, and my main message was actually also for parents. I would go to parents' workshops, to barazas, chiefs barazas, and actually my message was, parents, help your girls to say no to FGM. parents have a role to play. That will be my main message. And one thing that actually the clan elders, I'm learning from the clan elders, is like for them, they feel like they are not forcing anyone to go for the cut. They're actually not coming to the homes and telling people to come out and get cut. For them, they're like, if you take meat and put it where dogs are, what will the dogs do? They will go eat the meat. So if you bring girls to us, what will we do? We will ask the cutters to cut them. So for me, I feel like they were throwing the ball to the parents, saying, if parents, you bring the daughters to us, we will cut. So for me, then that inspired me more on why I should talk with the parents. If right now we were to conduct a study, we would find that there has been a reduction. But why are we saying that it's still there and the practice is still happening? Well, there's this point where people feel like they need to belong, you see? Basically in Korea, it's the feeling to belong that is still existing. Oh, if I'm not cut, who will marry me? That is what some girls are actually convinced with, that who will marry you. But right now we have role models. Like, I consider myself a role model, as I said. Yes, I'm not cut, but I'm married in this community. I have a child in this community. So for me, I feel like it's the issue of conformity. I need to be here. I need to belong to the community. I need to actually please my mother. I need to, you see, times have changed. Then, girls who were not cut, now I'm talking about my time when I said no to FGM. Do you know I wouldn't play even with my friends in school? They were saying, you are younger than us. Yes, we are the same age, but because I'm not cut, I am now younger than them. So I should play with kids in lower primary, yet I'm in upper primary. So you see, the stigma actually started even with the kids themselves. But right now, if you're cut or not cut, and in school, even no one even thinks about that. And no one even identifies that or thinks that you are not cut and you should not play with us. That is with other kids. With families, right now even more the girls who are not cut are actually even given more respect. More than 50% of girls who get cut, the coming year, most of them get pregnant or even drop out of school to get married. Another thing that really makes these girls to drop out of school and get married is what they are told during that circumcision period. They get songs and people talk to them. And some of the songs say, you have now become a grown-up. You have now moved from being a girl to a woman. You see, so such statements sink deeper into girls and they feel like, I am now a woman. So they can do what women do. So those are some of the things that are happening in the community, and the community know that. So the perspective have changed, and those girls who are actually out there and are listening to me right now and are deliberately willing not to go for FGM, I would encourage them that is the right decision they're making, and they'll be good examples to others. Only they have to ensure that they take education serious. The medical complications and health complications that come with FGM. Some girls are really suffering, especially there are some cases of fistula. There are some cases of keloids. They just develop keloids, and you know how it's hard to treat that. When you talk with most of these women and girls, they feel like, this is what I want, but how will I go about it? So every time I talk with women, I tell them, purpose and go for what you want despite the challenges. So I always tell women, just dream and get up and follow that dream.
So if Christine, a young woman from a humble background, can create and transform a society and, you know, put smiles on faces of young people and older women older than her, what about you?
So the world that I really look forward to is a world where women will be valued. They'll be given the respect they deserve as humans also. A world where women will be given opportunity to actually become what they want to, now not what the community dictates them to. Yeah, that is the word that I am looking forward to. And every day I get a motivation to actually wake up for that.
Christine's story is an inspiration, a voice of hope and change, a world we want to create for all of us, for men, for women, for girls and for boys. So aspire to be a change maker wherever you are, in your own community. You don't have to have it all. Just use what you have.